Welcome to this episode of Embrace Your Work. All right, hey, I get it, I get it. Check it out though, huh? For most of us, most of our lives are going to be spent at work. That's why we're saying, embrace your work. It's the opportunity of your lifetime. All right, when you think about it, do you like watching movies? You like listening to music? I do. Right? Do you like going to sporting events? Going to concerts? Right? Going to the movies? Restaurant? So just like me, you enjoy watching people work, right? That's what it is. I didn't really realize this until like a year ago. But most of what we do is working or watching people work, right? Outside of sleeping, right? So that's the reality of it. So I think it helps all of us to embrace your work. Whatever that job is that exists within a billion or trillion dollar industry, you make yourself stronger, you make yourself more of an asset, you get a bigger piece of that pie. All right? That's why it's important to embrace your work. So, how does it help me? How would it help me to embrace my work? Well, if you don't embrace your work, for me, what happened? My philosophy, my approach devolved right into if this is all they pay me, this is all I'm gonna do, right? They don't pay me, I'm not doing that, man. Right? That's where I was at. I worked for 20 years before really understanding. Oh wow, if I take this seriously, I can really make some money. Uh, So I ended up $35,000 a year. I had two kids, right? So I'm waking up in the negative. Man, thank God for my parents, right? I got babies for, until I was a damn near old man. So I was fortunate to live long enough to get the proper philosophy, right? But when I did change it, everything changed for me. But I had evolved into adjusting my level of activity and productivity based on what I thought someone else expected from me. Right? Like looking back, it's wild. I can't imagine my kids would, hey, why are we not doing better than this? Well, they think I want. It's wild, man. Time, time was on my side as as I kept living. Eventually, oh man, I figured it out. Uh, but I was lost for a long time, wandering, no idea, hadn't defined who I was, hadn't decided where I was going. Right? But your work is the opportunity of a lifetime. For me, once I changed that, everything changed for me. Right? So that's why it's important to embrace your work. It could take you many places. Once you get serious about your work, serious about the value that you bring to society, that your role does. Right? Every job role is important. It's only there because it's important. If you own the company, would you have a job that's not important? No, I wouldn't either. Right? So we got to have the proper perspective when we're approaching this. Every job exists, again, within a billion dollar, nowadays, trillion dollar industry. Make yourself more valuable, you get a bigger piece of that pie. So the next question is how? How can I embrace my work and make myself more valuable? Right? Three areas, the American workforce Trinity. Improve yourself in three areas, that's it. Job knowledge, value as a teammate, and more public speaking. Be eager and willing to speak publicly, to lead the meeting, give the presentation, ask a question, right? Give your idea. What about this? Give an objection. When you give an objection, you want to wrap it up in fear, right? And most people are governed by fear. So what that means is you say, man, I don't think we should do this because if we do this, I'm afraid that this would happen, right? So, yeah, it's a little trick. You're welcome. You know what I mean? Those three areas, though: job knowledge, value as a team member, public speaking. As far as job knowledge, that's pretty much do you provide a product, service, or both, knowing which one that is. Who's your target audience, right? How do you attract that audience, right? How's that audience marketed to effectively? And then what's the organization's mission statement? A simple way to understand your job, right? Three, in my fingers, it's crazy. Three areas to understand your job in a simple way, right? We want to understand things simply so we can explain it in simple terms. That way you can field more questions, help more people, explain it to more people. Right? Number two, increasing your value as a teammate. That's just being useful. Understanding work is not personal. We're all here as team members to accomplish a mission, which is the mission statement, right? Being clear on what the mission statement is, understanding how we're here to accomplish it. And then number three, that public speaking. When you have the knowledge and when you're valuable as a team member, you're more confident, more comfortable speaking publicly, right? They all three kind of go together. And for public speaking, keep in mind, courage will be required. Your effort and your courage. But I think that once we accept like how valuable just the public speaking piece is, and you think about your family, are you willing to show that courage and add this skill for your family? For me, the answer was yes. For a lot of folks, I hope the answer is yes. Challenge yourself, push yourself. Right? That's a valuable trait. 90% of people will always be frightened and uncomfortable with public speaking. That's the reality. We call that opportunity. Huh? That's all it is, man. Like, it's a natural human thing, I guess, the way we're kind of conditioned as well. But you can break through all that with effort, with repetition, and with courage. Puts you in the top 10% in your industry immediately. It's a skill that you have that not others possess. All right? So those three areas, that's how you embrace your work. Right? Work, again, just reminding everybody that your work is the opportunity of your lifetime. Embrace your work. It can do some incredible things for your life. Right? Challenge yourself. Push yourself. Remember, you taught yourself to walk. Don't let discouragement stop you from teaching yourself to do amazing things. You've done it before. Don't let discouragement stop you from showing yourself who you can become. Right? Who you are now is not who you always have to be. You're human. Crawling to walking, that's an incredible feat. You did it without any instruction, based on your sheer desire, your willingness to figure it out. That's what it comes down to. Pushing ourselves to figure it out. For my children, I taught them to solve a Rubik's Cube, right? My son and my daughter. When I was teaching them, I gave them the algorithm. It was on a piece of paper, a couple pieces of paper, we printed it out. Gave them a Rubik's Cube, hey, figure it out. My daughter got hungry, crying, I want some food, right? Spoiled kid hungry, right? So it's like I had to eat in an hour or something like that, right? Minor, but you know how these cats are. She's crying, oh man, I'm going crazy, right? I said, hey, figure it out. There's no food till you figure it out, right? Hour later, she figured it out. The reason I did it as a parent, I'm mature enough to understand how important adversity is for my children. I can't live your life for you, man. Regardless of what I do, I can't protect you from life. Life is life. Life is dangerous, right? You need to be strong. You need to be sharp out here. They're coming to get you at all times, right? You need to be sharp. Life was meant to be dangerous, right? According to the book of Job in the Bible, life is meant to be dangerous. You better be skilled to navigate this thing effectively, right? That's the message I give my children. Life will be tough. There will be challenges that I can't help you through, but I can help you get stronger, right? I was on a podcast. They asked me, what's one thing you like to give to your children? I said, adversity. I don't want you to have any. I want you to become as big and as brilliant as you can become. But you're going to have to be challenged into that, pushed into that. That's why I taught them the Rubik's Cube that way. As a reminder, what you can do when you push yourself. You push yourself to do something that only 5.6% of the population can do. Will they always do that? Who knows? I won't be there with them to push them every time. That's the reminder. You can do it. Right? Will they tap into it? Who knows? The hope is yes. But for me, it was important to manufacture that adversity, to show them when you push yourself, you can do things that amaze you. Right? But it's about pushing yourself. It's about being willing to dig. Right? For me, I spent 20 years not embracing. I started working at 15, age 35, making 35,000. Right? At 15, I was probably making 15,000. I don't know. 15, I was a busboy at that seafood place and a dishwasher. Right? So maybe about 13,000 a year or something like that. Right? Small stuff. 20 years. Baby steps I was taking. Because I hadn't embraced my work. I hadn't taken it serious. I hadn't embraced the seriousness of my own life. Right? Being honest. But luckily I stayed alive long enough to get the right information. And that's why we share these messages, try to pass them along so folks get it sooner than I did. Even if it's later than I did, that you get it. And you see that, oh man, a simple adjustments to what I was doing and everything changes. It doesn't have to always be hard and always be a struggle, right? I can get better. Everything can get better. The distractions, the discouragements, the deceptions, that'll always be there. They're going to all be talking that shit, man. That's the reality of it. I don't think that goes away, right? There's a lot of channels to watch out here, though, right? We choose what we want to engage in. We choose the messages that we want to hear. Negative messages will condition you a certain way, just like positive messages will condition you a certain way, right? Each of us has taught ourselves to walk, but I've heard people say they're not creative. I've heard people say, oh, I can't learn. That's negative messages, man. This world is dangerous. People will beat your spirit down with their words based on their frustrations with life. It is what it is, man. So we got to be strong enough, wise enough to understand that we are brilliant. We are incredible. People are going to be trying to tear you down, yes. So that means you have to build yourself up. Just like words can tear you down, words can build you up. Positive words every day, over, over, over. They will fortify you. They will callous you, just like the negative words have. Make you believe I can't create anything. And now it's I can create anything. I can learn anything. Monke koyoruba, shubon, right? And I did that later in my life. It's like 38, right? My capacity is unlimited, man. Just because I actively engage in learning. Now, past 5 years, I'm learning as much as I can. I've been as productive in these past, even 3 years. I've been as productive as I have been in my entire life. Just because I really engage with learning and becoming more and more. Further you go, the more you can see. I get up here, I'm looking at these guys like, man, I can do that shit, right? What we doing, right? So yeah, man, hey, man, right? When I played ball, I was competitive. Ain't shit really changed, man. You know, I'm coming for your high score, baby. Yeah. So, and it's with a simple philosophy, right? Simple philosophy. When it works, just work it. Don't get distracted. Don't look left, don't look right. Increase your job knowledge, increase your value as a teammate, increase your opportunity speaking publicly, right? Once you get those three, then it becomes like leading groups to outcomes, things like that. That's where I'm at right now. Man, it's tough, overwhelming. Toughest time of my life and my work career, right? It's tough. This is where you grow. I've had to stop doing other things. Like, hey, man, I just ain't got the time, but this work is just, this is where you grow, right? And this is what I wanted, right? Yeah, check this out. All right? Got my boys, right? You know, I gotta keep my shit in order, man. Lead groups to outcomes. You see that? Lead groups, right? Get more presentations. Lead more groups to outcomes. Every day. Every day, right? I look at it. Remind myself what's important every day. It's only like 3 years of like getting into the habit of really focusing in. This is what I want. This is how I'm gonna get it. Man, changed everything, right? I put that on there April of 2023. A year ago, in February, that's when I got my first group that I was leading to an outcome. Now I got 2 of them. One is about done, and the other one's going to last for years, right? So got what I wanted, and it's challenging. Learning is challenging. Growing is challenging because learning is worth it, because growing is worth it, right? Last part, finger trick. When you think about learning and it's difficult, like, man, you try to learn something, man, this is tough. Finger trick, huh? Look at this. Your thumb, your pointer finger. Alternate them. Alternate them. Alternate them. Right? And just practice this, doing this. You want to get to where you can do it 10 times, no problem. 10 times, no problem, right? That should be about 10. Look at the speed, bro. Come on now. Huh? 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 Try it. You think it's easy? Try it. That's all I'm saying. Try it. Right? And what you're going to find out is that it's uncomfortable, it's painful, but you can do it. Just like learning. All right? Hey, that's it. It's way over 10 minutes. My bad. Embrace your work. I think this is an important one. Embrace your work. Make the most out of this thing. You are brilliant. The brilliance is already inside of you. Just dig to develop it. You know and I know. It's already there. You can do it. Huh? Come on, man. Have an incredible day, baby. And as always, continue to explore the most fascinating thing about your life. You. That's the truth. Slick, but true. All right? Have an incredible day.